So I'm going to talk today about tech startup lessons. I believe in multiple income streams, so I have two sides of the business. One side's HR and employment law consulting, and the other side is software that we sell to companies to help them hire hourly employees. So the first lesson that I learned was from Rocky Deer, who taught me to start with plenty of cash. A great lesson because development takes twice as long and often costs twice as much as you would expect. It's just like building or renovating a house in that respect. So the next lesson is to vet your idea. We have to throw away the NDAs and confidentiality agreements, which is hard for us to do as lawyers. But trust me, vet your idea and find out if it's a good one. You'll be glad you did. And no one's going to spend the kind of money to chase your wild dream like you will anyway. So don't worry about it. If you solve a real problem, the world will be yours. A real problem is a real business solution too. And that pays a lot more than a game or an app. Here's where we started with our original problem. It can take 45 minutes to an hour to apply for a job online. People abandon that process because it's slow, frustrating, and they may not even own a computer. But everybody has a smartphone, and even people who don't have computers, don't have resumes, can apply through the HR Virtuoso system in 5 minutes or less. So we solve that problem of candidate abandonment, and we help companies have a bigger talent pool. So it's a win-win. I didn't start HR Virtuoso just to be a software developer. I started it because I wanted to connect job seekers with opportunities, and I wanted companies to be able to have the best talent pool possible. When I started, I thought I knew about business law. This is an homage to my alma mater, Brooklyn Law School. I spent 25 years in corporate doing HR and legal work, but I don't know IP law. Luckily, my sister is a graduate of Rutgers Law, so she does it for me. I also learned there's a big difference between bookkeeping and forecasting. I keep my books meticulously because I don't want problems with Taxman, April 15th. But forecasting, well, show me a dartboard and I'll show you a forecast. Development's a lot like a construction project. In your mind, you think you know what the design's going to look like, but it may end up to be very different. That's why I keep a development roadmap that I'm going to talk about a little bit more as we go on. Now, I started out with some people in Amherst, Massachusetts, from Hampshire College, where I went, and they did my first round development. They did a great job, but they didn't know about business. They didn't know about big data, and I outgrew them really quickly. So the people you start with aren't the people you end up with. The people you meet along the way, well, they might be right for you, they might be wrong for you. I've changed development teams. I've had people who wanted to be mentors and advisors. Along the way, I kind of figured out who's good for me, and I ended up with people with compatible strengths. So whereas I may not be good at marketing or sales, I've got other people who are great at it, and now I'm part owner of the development team that does my coding. I never would have thought that would have happened. Without any hesitation, I put the customers first. I have to make sure that the whole experience from the users, from candidate to hiring manager to recruiter, is a great one. And I solicit feedback all the time, and I use that feedback as part of my product development map. Now, I had to learn marketing. Marketing was a tough thing to learn. I know about content marketing and some social media platforms. I figured out which social media platforms are good and which ones are bad. But above all, I always ask myself, what would Mel Brooks do? Which is why you're seeing probably the first State Bar of Texas Doctor Who-themed presentation. But this talks about the abandonment issue with candidates that we fix. I try to play to my strengths every day. My strengths, like most lawyers, are writing, collaboration, process improvement, project management. I do those things really, really well. But there's a long list of things I don't do so well. I went to law school because I'm bad at math. So I outsource all of my bookkeeping and my tax filing and forecasting and all that other number stuff. I'm pretty good with a dollar sign, but I'm not that good. So if it doesn't generate revenue, I don't do it. Instead, I focus on innovation. Creativity is one of my strengths. So I innovate every day. I listen to the customers, the users, work on that product development roadmap, and always watch the competition to see what they're up to. So having a startup is like any business. You have valleys, you have peaks, and you never know when you're in a valley when the next peak is going to come. So we celebrate every win, no matter how small it is. We had a major one in the last 2 weeks when we signed DMN Media as a reseller. Finally, success doesn't always look like what you think it will. Failure is part of success, but learn from your mistakes and you will win. Thank you very much, and find me at hrvirtuoso.com.